Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back situation and whether or not they will commit to Leonard Fournette as their starting running back. But I am not alone in this video today again, once again, third time. Joining me from the Cannon Fire podcast, it is Evan. Evan, how you doing?
Third time's a charm, my man, right? Happy to be on. Happy to have this discussion with you. It seems like it's a discussion we have every week, but hey, it's an interesting topic every week, I think. So
I'm not
eager to get into it.
Absolutely. And for those of you who aren't subscribed already to the Cannon Fire podcast on YouTube, I will have that in the pinned comment in the comment section below. Go subscribe to them. We are trying to get them to 3,000 subscribers. It would be an awesome milestone, and let's all get them to that milestone together. But, Evan, this is, man, you talked about it, right? We talk about this every single week. I'm not going to drop this situation because it just gets more and more interesting, let's say, every single week. And now it's taken yet another turn. For those of you who don't know, Leonard Fournette, he was basically just the full-on feature back for the Buccaneers versus the New England Patriots. Overall, I think that a lot of people can agree that he did a pretty decent job. 20 plus carries, 91 rushing yards, I think 3 receptions for 47 yards on 5 targets. I mean, Fournette had a really good game. So that's begged the question, will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally pull the trigger? Will they commit to Leonard Fournette as their starting running back? Let's kind of break it down here, Evan. So, first thing I've got is a quote from Bruce Arians about the running backs following the Patriots game. This is per John Ledyard of pewterreport.com, by the way. The quote reads, he was in the game, Arians said, when asked if Fournette was now the team's feature back. We'll see. It could flip in a heartbeat. Rowe was running really, really well. We put both of them out there in different situations. I've got all the trust in the world in both of them. Evan, your thoughts on that quote? I mean, Bruce Arians kind of put it perfectly there in terms of saying, like, it could flip at any time. It has flipped at any time, right?
Neither one of these guys wants to really grab it, right? And Leonard Fournette, kudos to him. I would have him as the feature back next, for week 5. He earned it. That's why he earned it for this week, right? He earned it with his performance. But like Bruce Arians says, it seems like every time somebody gets going, something happens and you got to go back to the other guy, right? It'll go to Ronald Jones. He'll get going. He'll have a nice game. And then something will happen and you'll have to go back to Leonard Fournette. It's just these guys can't seem to really grab it and grab a hold of it for a long period of time. And it just seems like they're playing musical chairs with who the running back room is. I don't think in today's NFL you need a bell cow running back, a signature back that are like, oh, he's our starting running back. Like he's the starter. I don't think you necessarily need that guy to win. It's nice to have, but I don't think it's a necessity anymore in today's league. So I mean, he's right. It could change at any time because these guys just love to seem to have momentum, but then as quickly as they get it, they seem to take it away. So we'll see which Leonard Fournette shows up on Sunday. We'll see which Ronald Jones shows up on Sunday. I thought Ronald Jones did run well. I thought Leonard Fournette ran well, but it's important to note the Patriots struggled against the run all year so far. So I haven't really done a huge deep dive on Miami yet. Not really sure, how they are against the run, but we'll see if the Bucs remain committed to that type of running game.
One important thing to note, too, is that Giovani Bernard was not, available for the Patriots game. He had sustained an injury, which made that opportunity for Leonard Fournette. Like you said, it's a musical chair type situation, right? I mean, every time one of these guys is like, oh, okay, yeah, he should maybe be the starting running back going forward. They don't do great the next week, and, the other guy shows up, and it's just like, oh, okay, all right, oh my gosh, like you said, it's not a necessity to have a perfect feature back, a 3-down back. But I do want to talk about kind of the Buccaneers coaching staff here in a little bit. So put a pin in that one. Put a pin in that thought, Evan. And I do want to go to another quote here from Bruce Arians when he was asked about Fournette's catching ability and drops being a concern, again from John Ledyard. No, Lenny's got great hands, Arians said. His drops are usually lack of concentration because he's got as good hands as anybody on the team. We'll just continue to throw it to him. and he'll get a better understanding in the passing game of where he needs to be as a running back pass catcher. But yeah, we trust his hands. I mean,
Poor Gio Bernard, man.
My hashtag play Gio more is just going to go straight down the tube. Evan, thoughts on that quote?
Yeah, it's a shame because like Gio Bernard was coming off his best game as a Buck, right? And of course he gets injured. And like I think if he doesn't get injured, like the Bucs do use him a bunch in New England. Like I do. Like I don't think they would have just boycotted him. But like Leonard Fournette didn't catch the ball bad in New England. He definitely didn't. But it's all about consistency. What's gonna happen if he goes out there versus Miami and drops 2 balls that he should easily catch, right? They clearly don't trust Ronald Jones at all catching the football. I mean, Bruce Arians doesn't even bring that up anymore. I think they would, at this point, I think they would rather give the ball to Keshawn Vaughn if they were going to throw it to a running back than Ronald Jones. I think they have completely lost any faith that Ronald Jones is going to become this pass catching back, or even an average pass catching back. So Leonard Fournette, it is. I don't think like you're gonna see Leonard Fournette as much like in it, like basically the Dallas game, right? Where like you saw him line up as a receiver more than an actual running back, and you barely saw Giovani Bernard. I think the coaching staff was impressed with Giovani Bernard in Los Angeles. I think Giovani Bernard has earned more snaps, and I think you'll see him get more snaps. Maybe this quote means that Arians is not quite confident that Gio Bernard is going to be available for Week 5 versus Miami. That's possible, and they got to throw to Fournette because Fournette's probably the best pass catching back on the roster if Gio Bernard isn't available, which is very telling. But yeah, man, I mean, some of the best hands on the team. This team in particular, like this isn't like some scrub wide receiver room, man. You mean to tell me that? No, like he's got better hands than Chris Godwin. Like, come on.
Hey,
like,
they threw
me?
a 20, what was it, a 20+ yard bomb to Fournette in that.
Yeah, and I
Patriots
mean,
game?
and like he would have probably caught it if he wasn't interfered with. At first, I thought it was a good play. I thought it was the bang bang, like ball knocked out. But like no, like Kyle Van Noy interfered with Leonard Fournette. It would have been funny to see if Leonard Fournette actually got a chance to catch it. Man, if he would have dropped that ball, that would have been horrible.
Would have been insane. It was an over the shoulder catch, right? Like there's wide receivers who struggle to make those types of catches.
Yeah.
So that would have been absolutely insane. Like you said, just looking at the quote here, Lenny's got great hands. I know a lot of people point back to that season he had with Jacksonville where he had, I think, like over 100 targets in a season.
When he was the only player on Jacksonville's offense.
Right. And, you know, that is what it is. Arians saying that the drops are usually just a lack of concentration. I mean, it seems like they're very willing to just throw him in there. Mm-hmm. Arians said point blank, we're going to continue to throw the ball to him. He's going to get a better understanding of this passing game. He's going to get a better understanding of where he needs to be. We trust his hands. It's got
second
great
year
hands.
In the offense.
Right. So, I mean, there is just heaps and bounds of praise here, I think, from Arians. Not for Fournette's running ability, but more so for his receiving ability, which is wild, in my opinion. But
I'm not sure if that has more to do with Leonard Fournette's receiving ability or Ronald Jones's lack of receiving ability.
I'm not sure. I will give my final thoughts on all of this in a second here, but I do want to go ahead and turn to some stats here, Evan, because, again, John Ledyard, he had pointed it out on his pewterreport.com article in terms of a snap count, right? He only talked about Fournette versus Ronald Jones. I decided to dig deeper on all aspects of this because that's what we do here on this channel. We dig deeper. In the case of snaps, Leonard Fournette has 163 offensive snaps. Ronald Jones is at 57 offensive snaps.
I didn't think it was that lopsided.
And Giovani Bernard is at 56 offensive snaps. Keep in mind, Giovani Bernard missed week number 4.
Yeah.
That is offensive snaps. So this isn't total snaps, like special team snaps combined or anything like that. No, just offensive snaps. The stark difference between Fournette and Ronald Jones, that's already telling. But then you look at Ronald Jones compared to Giovani Bernard. In my opinion, that's even more telling. What are your thoughts on just the snap counts alone here?
They're just done with Ronald Jones. Like, I would be shocked if Ronald Jones is here next year. I mean, shocked. Like, he's a free agent at the end of this year. I don't even think they're going to attempt to bring him back. I really don't. I think, the only reason they are even going to keep him around through the trade deadline is for depth. Like, I think they have given up on Ronald Jones. I think they're done with him. I mean, and that tells you, I think, all you need to know. I mean, Giovani Bernard has played one less game. He's literally a third down back. He doesn't even receive any carries. Giovani Bernard doesn't receive carries, and yet the snap counts are those numbers. And obviously, Fournette being so much higher than Jones is telling. But like you said, I think that's more telling. The how close Gio Bernard and Ronald Jones is. When Gio Bernard literally missed a football game,
missed an entire game's worth. Missed an entire game's worth of snaps.
He received 6 snaps in the Falcons game. So either one game he missed completely, and the other game he received 6 snaps in. Yeah, it's still that close. And Ronald Jones they're so done with Ronald Jones.
Ronald Jones has been active every single game, by the way. That's an important thing to note. So just looking at the snap count alone, right, you would just assume, like, okay, yeah, Leonard Fournette's the feature back. Of course he is, right? But, you can kind of dig, a little bit deeper, and I did. I looked at carries, yards, targets, all these things, okay? Leonard Fournette, in terms of his stats right now, 44 carries, 183 yards, 19 targets, 15 receptions, 124 receiving yards. Ronald Jones, 21 carries, 77 yards. He does have that one touchdown that he got in week 4 versus the Patriots. 3 targets, 1 reception, 9 yards. And then in the case of Giovani Bernard, 15 targets, 13 receptions, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Also, again, keep in mind, Giovani Bernard missed week number 4. So it's not just snaps, Evan, on offense. I mean, they're handing him off the ball more to Leonard Fournette. They're throwing the ball more to Leonard Fournette. It's just all Leonard Fournette here, right?
Yeah, I mean, they love him. Well, I mean, it's clear. I mean, there's really no debate about it. And I think they'll probably try to re-sign him in the offseason. I mean, probably, obviously he'll have a price tag, and like the Bucs will, I don't think the Bucs are going to bend over backwards to re-sign him, but like, because obviously they have more guys at more important positions that they have to bring back. But yeah, I mean, I think Ronald Jones is just, he's checked out. I think he knows it too. And I think the Bucs know it. Would be beyond shocked if Ronald Jones is on the Bucs next year.
So let me ask you this, Evan. Leonard Fournette, he's out snapping, he's out carrying, he's out targeting all the other running backs on the team. Some categories by a very healthy amount.
And this would be okay if Leonard Fournette was like on a tear, but he's like, this is his best game, and it was like not like anything outstanding. It was good, but
right. Some categories by a ton, other categories that's a little bit closer in terms of targets, say for Giovani Bernard and Leonard Fournette. So let me ask you this. Why won't the Buccaneers just admit that Leonard Fournette is basically their feature back? And then second question, will they ever do that?
I think they kind of want to keep Fournette on his toes, because I think they Fournette, man, with the thing with him last season, I think was really telling. Like, he almost gave up because he wasn't getting snaps, right? Like he was this close to getting cut. Like he was, after he was inactive week 14 versus Minnesota, a healthy scratch. Yeah. Giovani Bernard was inactive because he was hurt. Leonard Fournette was inactive and he was completely healthy last season, right? That is so telling. And I think a guy like Fournette, they really just want to keep him motivated, keep him on his toes. I mean, playoff Lenny was a motivated Lenny. And I think that's what you saw Sunday night was the closest thing to playoff Lenny. Him bouncing out off them tackles and bouncing outside on the runs, going in the tackle and then being able to bounce it outside and getting a few extra yards. That's what you saw in the Super Bowl. I mean, those are the types of runs you saw in the Super Bowl from Fournette. So if he keeps giving you that, that's great, because that's a productive running back. But history has shown it's not likely to sustain anything. I think at some point you're going to see Ronald Jones. I just think the Bucs basically have their mind made up that like Ronald Jones ain't it. So I think you will see Ronald Jones. I don't think he's just not going to play ever again. But I just think as far as like the long-term big picture goes, yeah, it's going to be Leonard Fournette. I don't think this offense will ever have a feature back. I just don't think that's a thing that Bruce Arians wants to ever really admit, but it's going to be Leonard Fournette.
Here's what I think. And this isn't what I would do or what they should do. Nothing along those lines. I'm just looking at this on a pure numbers on the paper, what I think is going to happen thing, right? I just think that, yeah, like you said, Fournette's the guy. I think that they will maybe eventually make him the guy, the feature back, if you will. That includes just giving him a lot of passing opportunities as well. I feel like that's something they want to do, like you said, which is really weird to think about considering, like you said, he was almost cut at the end of last season, and then playoff Lenny happened. Maybe that changed their mind to just wild amounts, right? And then also maybe the offseason helped make that shift in the coaching staff's mind. Ronald Jones struggling to start off this year maybe helped out with that as well. But the proof's there, right? The proof's on the paper. He's out snapping Giovani Bernard and Ronald Jones a healthy amount. Heck, if Giovani Bernard would have been healthy for week number 4, Ronald Jones would have been the third guy in terms of running back snaps. That would have been basically a guarantee.
But I will say Ronald Jones has the only rushing touchdown for Bucs running backs this year so far. So that's something you can hang a hat on, I guess.
I guess so. But right now as it stands, exactly like what you said, every single time this coaching staff has been asked about Ronald Jones, it's been, we like Ronald Jones, but then they just don't prove it in terms of game time stuff. In terms of game time action, their actions don't match their words. Right.
And some of it is Jones not earning it, right? Some of it is missing that block versus the Falcons, catching the ball but then not going for the first down versus the Falcons, the fumble versus the Cowboys. Like some of it is, sure, right? I mean, in LA, you didn't even really see Lenny or Jones. Like it was just because they had to throw the whole time. So you saw Bernard in there. So really, you can't really count the LA game. That's just like a whatever. But Jones has to earn it. But also, this coaching staff seems to give. We talked about it after week 1. I mean, I know a lot of people complained about us, but Leonard Fournette drops a ball, goes right into the Cowboys' hands, and there's no real repercussions. While Ronald Jones fumbles and he doesn't see the light of day again. So I do agree that Jones has to earn it, right? He has to play better. He has to be mentally there, but the same has to go. If it goes for one player, it has to go for another. Leonard Fournette is not that much better than Ronald Jones. I actually don't think he's better than Ronald Jones at all, but he's not that much better than Ronald Jones to have that type of credibility.
Right. And we're not here to really do a deep dive on those situations anymore or criticize those types of situations anymore. But at the end of the day, to answer the question, will the Buccaneers commit to Leonard Fournette as their starting running back, as their feature back, if you will? They've basically kind of already done it without saying it, right? I mean, their actions have clearly spoken to what's going on here. Like you said, Ronald Jones, he's in the doghouse, I think. I think that's a safe thing to say. He's not earning it, whereas the coaching staff just feels that Fournette has earned it. Not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Bruce Arians said, we're going to keep on passing it to him more. It all just is falling in line here to where Leonard Fournette is going to be the clear-cut guy. Once Giovani Bernard is healthy, he will be a complimentary receiving back on third downs and 2-minute warnings like Bruce Arians had talked about in the past. And Ronald Jones is just, to be honest, out of luck at this point. Unless Leonard Fournette starts to struggle.
Which could happen.
Which could happen.
We've seen it.
But right now, as it seems, I think it's very clear based on the actions of the coaching staff. It is Fournette as basically the main receiving guy, basically as the main runner. Giovani Bernard's a complimentary receiving guy in critical situations. And then Rojo's kind of just a guy there right now, is what I think that you can gain from that situation. So, yeah. Will the Buccaneers commit to Leonard Fournette as their feature running back? They basically already have without saying it in terms of their actions here, in my opinion. I think this will be something that we will continue to see going forward, unless something changes with Leonard Fournette's play. If he continues to show up and the coaching staff feels he's doing a good job, I think he'll still be the guy going forward, which I'm not going to knock that one way or the other. I'm not going to voice my opinion on that one way or the other. I just think that's going to be what happens. Evan, what do you think on that?
Yeah, and like I said, for now, I'm fine with a week 5, right? Because I believe he has earned it. He has earned that distinction. He has. You play that way, you earn it. He contributed to winning that football game. You play that way, you earn it. However, if you don't play that way and you continue to get those opportunities, that's when I'm going to question it.
Right. So What do you guys think about this entire running back situation? I know we've been talking about this a lot throughout this season, but
Not gonna end anytime soon, I'm sure. So
probably won't. This is definitely a topic that I've been very intrigued about throughout this season, and it seems like we're starting to get more clarity, right? We're starting to get more
a
clarity,
little bit,
and
a little bit,
a little bit, and it seems like that clarity is looking more and more towards like they just want to give Leonard Fournette all the chances here and roll with him. Again, that is what it is. That's fine. Let's just wait and see how this situation develops, okay? But what do you guys think about this? Let us know your thoughts. Evan, before we go ahead and end off this video, do you have any final words?
Yeah, check me out on Campfire Podcast on YouTube or anywhere you can find a podcast. As James said before earlier in the show, we're trying to hit 3K. We can't do it alone. We need your help. So please help us get to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. Be greatly appreciated. And also, we are 5 weeks away from the Cannon Fire Watch Party. Will Leonard Fournette be the starter versus Washington? Who knows? It was basically the birth of playoff Lenny last year, so maybe they give it to him, right? It's going to be Bucs versus Washington, Week 10 at Berry House Brewing Company. And also, food, we got you covered. Wing Box Food Truck will be there, providing some of the best wings in the area. Come on out. We're going to have a pre-game podcast, a post-game podcast. You're going to be there. I'm going to be there. Rhett's going to be there. And also maybe some other Bucs content creators will be there. Who knows? We'll see. Come out. Have a great time. You can find more information on it on the Cannon Fire Podcast social media handles as well. Party starts at noon. Be there.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Again, give us your thoughts about this Buccaneers running back situation. Yet again, now that it seems like Leonard Fournette is seemingly maybe that guy going forward. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs. Okay, we're good. I always love talking about the running back situation. Isn't it just a beautiful thing?
Mm-hmm.